It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads. Hey guys, it's Grace again here, filling in for Ethan and Sarah. We have a new face with us this morning. This is Chris Blasky. He is the video producer at Around the Ozarks. So, hi, Chris.
How you doing today?
Good. Thank you for joining me so early this morning.
You know, it's worth it. It's early, but I can get through
it. Perfect. All right, let's get to some news.
All
right. So there is a new name in the works for the Jordan Valley Ice Park. The park board has reached a new naming level sponsorship agreement for the ice park. Ron Schneider, who is recently the new director of the park board, told council that internet service provider Brightspeed has pinned a 10-year contract, and it is $150,000 annually with the option to renew. Wow. They also agreed to reimburse expenses to implement co-branded signs. So it will say Jordan Valley Ice Park with Brightspeed, and they have not had a naming level sponsor at the ice park since 2019, and it was Mediacom. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, that's a fantastic upgrade.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of money for the park board. So,
absolutely.
Great.
All right. Well, it does look like that Clever has a new police chief. Looks like Chief Mike Evans became the new chief just last month. He spent 22 years with the Springfield Police Department before retiring back in 2021. Now, Chief Evans plans to implement 3 new programs, one of them being a neighborhood watch, the other one being a business watch, and the third being a see something, say something program. Now, he did say that he is super compassionate about community service and is looking forward to helping Clever at a foundational point in the city's growth.
Yeah, that's
pretty
great.
Fantastic. Yes.
I don't know if you've been to Clever, but it's a super tiny little town around here near Nixa, where I'm from. So that's great seeing that they're doing something.
Yes, that's great. Especially in a time where you're hearing that some of these other places are actually kind of losing police, and have somebody that's coming in with this, great plan for this area. It's just all positives. That's just wonderful.
Yeah. Community minded. It all sounds really great. So,
yes.
All right. If you or someone you know is a realtor, listen to this. There are some policy changes going into effect on August 17th. This is resulting in a settlement in a case against the National Association of Realtors, known as the NAR. In this court case, the jury found NAR and the co-defendants liable for $1.8 billion in damages. They were accused of price fixing and collusion by artificially boosting agents' commissions. So this bill that's going into effect, the 2 key changes that are going to start on August 17th is that, 1, before prospective buyers can go on a home tour, the buyer agency agreement must be signed if the real estate agent is associated with the NAR. Mm-hmm. And then on multiple listing service, or MLS, that you see often when you're looking for a house, those types of sites, buyer's agent commissions are no longer going to be displayed on there.
Really?
Jeff Kester, the CEO of the Greater Springfield Board of Realtors, said that consumers now know from the beginning of the process the impact that the agent compensation may have on the sale. Although that information is not permitted on the MLS, it leads to much more openness and transparency in the process. And he said there's really not any more paperwork. It's just a timing difference more than anything. So it's kind of good to know, because I know Chris and I both separately are looking for houses right now, coincidentally. So just if you're a realtor or you know somebody who is or is looking for a house, there are going to be a little bit of changes coming up here soon. So.
You know what? That's okay. But having that kind of transparency does kind of, as a buyer or as a seller or just however, it does kind of put you a little bit at ease. And I'm definitely one of those. I like to know kind of what's going on up front. I like being surprised, down the road, be like, oh no, what? So this is
wait, how much money?
Right. And I was like, hold on, did the math do right? I'm not good at math, but yeah, no,
this is a lot.
So this is a great change. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, though, got to shift gears to something that's not quite as great. Unfortunately, Springfield's hydroponic gardening supply store is going to be closing at the end of the month. Harvest Grow Supply on North Glenstone, right around Evangel, announced on Facebook that August 31st would be its last day in business. And a comment on the post, the Harvest Grow Supplies official did say that it is difficult, to compete with online. And as we kind of talked a little bit earlier, that the brick and mortar stores are nice, but they're hard to compete with the online force. And COVID definitely has had a lingering impact, even after a couple of years of 3-4 years later, it's still having that lingering impact on areas.
Absolutely. I think we all still kind of talk about COVID, but like it really truly is. You can see it. It's still kind of affecting businesses in the long run for sure. Shop local, everyone.
Yes.
All right. Well, the Chiefs have set another record. Just keep them coming,
Right.
The kicker, Harrison Butker, which you may be familiar with.
Absolutely.
He made the game-winning field goal in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. He has agreed to a 4-year contract extension that makes him the highest paid NFL kicker just at all. So that's crazy.
All right.
To think of. Yeah, he's number one right now. He announced the deal on X, saying that there's no place I'd rather be than with the Chiefs, and he was excited to finalize the 4-year extension. ESPN recorded that Butker is receiving a $25.6 million extension. So that is a lot of money. I always forget like the numbers that athletes make. It just is astronomical, but I mean, good for them. All right. I couldn't kick a ball that far. I don't have that skill set.
We're always a little bitter about it at first until it gets down to that point where we need them to kick that game-winning field goal. Exactly. And then all of a sudden it's like that $25 million, totally fine with it at that point. We're totally
I'm fine. Just make the goal.
Absolutely.
Fine. Good job.
All these numbers you're throwing at me right now, the only thing I can think in my head is worth it. Absolutely worth it. Keep it
Absolutely. Coming. Yeah. And speaking of his numbers, he does have really good stats. I've got a couple of them here. So he has converted almost 90% of his field goals. It's 197 out of 221 in all of his 7 seasons on the Chiefs.
Right.
And he's made 70% of those from beyond 50 yards. So
he has a boot.
Yeah,
There's no doubt about it.
I mean, good for him, man. Good job.
Those first few 55, yard field goals at first, you were a little sketchy, but then after a while, you're just kind of like, he's got it.
Look, it's fine.
It just keeps happening. He just keeps doing it. Absolutely. All right. Well, it is the final summer fishing fun night at Rutledge Wilson Farm Park coming up here on Friday night. That's going to be from 6 until 9 p.m. You can bring the whole family for a relaxing evening of catch and release fishing in their fully stocked pond. Now, it's going to be open to all ages. Kids 15 and under must be accompanied by an adult, and 4 years and under are free with a paid adult. Now, you can enjoy the cow train, the bounce house, and you can even bring your own hot dogs and s'mores to cook over the fire. There is going to be a fee of just $10 if you bring your own gear, $15 if you need to rent some gear. So it could be a fun event to get the kids out coming up here Friday night. The weather's supposed to be absolutely beautiful coming up here this weekend. So another great event. You go ahead and pin into the calendar coming up here this weekend.
Absolutely. And speaking of events, we've got a couple more. There's a lot going on this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So the birthplace of Route 66 Festival is coming up. Joy and I talked to you guys about it earlier this week, but just another reminder, it starts tomorrow night, Thursday night, and then it'll be all day Friday and Saturday. The parade is on Friday, and it starts College Street and Grant Avenue, and then it goes all the way through downtown, and then it ends at National. So you'll if you go online, you'll see the map of where everything's blocked off. So it's a pretty good, it's a long parade. And then all the activities of the festival is free. There's a car and motorcycle show and music performances. And then there's also vendors just all throughout the festival area. I know that they usually have the shrine. If you go in there, they've got vendors in there. There's some stuff going on in the old glass house. But yeah, you can find food, beverages, and merchandise pretty much wherever you look.
It's one of the few events I haven't actually had an opportunity to get to yet since I've lived down here in the Ozarks, since I've lived in the Springfield area. I've been down here about 5 or 6 years now, and I got excited about going a few years back. Unfortunately, COVID kind of put the kibosh on that one, unfortunately. So this might be my opportunity this weekend to finally take in the festivities for Route 66.
Yes,
so heard a lot about it, never had a chance to go. So this will be my opportunity, hopefully.
There you go. You need to. My dad's a car guy, so he always has his car there. So
all right.
No, it's a fun time. You need to go.
Okay. I'm putting it on the calendar coming up here. Hopefully I can find some time this weekend because there's a lot going on around in the
Mhm.
Ozarks and especially here in Springfield coming up here this weekend. Friday night is Around the Ozarks night at the Springfield Cardinals, as it is going to be the ultimate date night. Now you can get a ticket package right now that's available for $65 per couple. That's going to include 2 tickets to the game. It's also going to include dinner and dessert. It's a pasta buffet on the right field patio just prior to the game. You can also get 1 adult beverage per person and a rose from Lily Floral. So they kind of really take care of you for the whole event,
Mhm.
which is nice. Go ahead and,
Yeah.
maybe go ahead and take the kids out to mom and dad for the weekend, or, to grandma, grandpa. Go on out and make a date night out of it, possibly. Now, you can even upgrade this package also for just $10 to add a game-used baseball and access to watch the fireworks on the field right after the game. And then one couple who signs up for the upgrade package will also be able to chance to draw to win a special seating for that night. Now, you can end the night with the romantic fireworks presented by Around the Ozarks right here. We're very excited to be a part of
Mhm.
that, but hopefully we can be able to take in the festivities. It's not going to be too packed, hopefully.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
get my camera out there. Hopefully we can get some great shots so we can hopefully
For
then
sure.
get up on our website coming up here maybe sometime next week. And in
Mhm.
addition to that night is also going to be the Vision Clinic John Goodman bobblehead giveaway. So I had to ask to make sure that was exactly what I thought it was. It is. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to
Really
maybe
is John Goodman. It's really
really is
him.
John. Yes, I'm excited for that. So I'm going to have to try to snag one of those up coming up here Friday night for Around the Ozarks night at Springfield Cardinals coming up here at Hammonds Field.
Yeah, and if you guys go, Ethan or Sarah, one of them, I don't know which one yet.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening, but one of them is going to throw out the first pitch. So
You
we'll
think
let
they'll
them
decide
decide.
on a coin toss?
We'll let them, yeah, we'll let them do rock paper scissors or something and see
There we
see
go.
what happens. And then
Do it right there
speaking of
on the mound.
exactly, we'll make a
Right.
spectacle out of it.
There you go.
All right. Speaking of Around the Ozarks, we've been talking about our anniversary contest. We've been drilling it into your guys' heads because it's the last week, and I want somebody
Yep,
to win. I want somebody listening right now to win it. So it's a big
absolutely.
prize to celebrate 2 years of this podcast with Ethan and Sarah, and then 1 year with Wake Up Weather with Abby Dyer. It's
Mhm.
crazy. It's already been that long.
Right.
Yeah, but all you have to do is go to aroundtheozarks.com and it's right on the front page. You can click on it. One lucky winner will get a $50 Jim's Steakhouse gift card, a
Mhm.
$50 Alamo gift card, and a 4-pack of passes to Wonders of Wildlife. So it's a pretty cool prize.
I'm just sitting here wondering, like, is this open to staff? Can we get involved in this? Like, how do I,
No, 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 no,
you
no.
know?
I would have claimed it
Okay.
already if that were the
Right, right,
case.
right.
But yeah, I think that's all we've got for this
All right.
Wednesday. Yeah, thank you, Chris, for joining me. I
Not a
appreciate it
problem.
so much.
This
And
was great. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
yeah, no problem. Everybody have a happy Wednesday, and we will see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Day. We've got temperatures in the mid 60s this morning after a cold front came through last night. No rain associated with that, but we do have some clouds out there to start the new day, and temperatures today are going to be cooler for everyone. We are going to see some nice cooler and drier air develop in the Ozarks, and this is a really nice change of pace for us from all the heat and humidity that we've had around late in the weekend and at least to kick off the new work week. Cooler weather settling into the Ozarks. That's the big message for you this morning. As I mentioned, that cold front came through last night. So behind it, we've got a nice north breeze, a little bit of cloud cover to start today. But I still think we'll be dealing with a mostly sunny sky as we head through the course of the afternoon today. Not a whole lot in the way of cloud cover, especially as we get to the later hours today. All the activity across the country, well, Debbie is still the focus out on the East Coast, bringing torrential rain to parts of the Carolinas today, as well as southeastern Georgia. We are also talking about unsettled weather for the Northeast. We've got some activity out in the Rockies, and here in the middle part of the country, it's dry. We have low dew point temperatures, and that cooler, drier air will continue to stream into the Ozarks. A wide range of temperatures is what's in the forecast, though, today. And in the Springfield area, I've got us at about 88 degrees for the high temperature. Certainly more comfortable than it was yesterday. Up in central Missouri, only in the mid 80s this afternoon. We're in the low 90s still down in our far southern counties, places south of Highway 60 and down into northern Arkansas. It's just going to take a little bit of time for that cooler air to slowly filter into the region. It's happening from north to south, which is why we are seeing the cooler readings up in central Missouri today. By this weekend, it will be much cooler everywhere. And this is going to stick around into the early part of next week, too. In fact, highs maybe in the upper 70s and mid 80s for a stretch of days. That's happening this weekend through the early part of next week. So go ahead and make all the outdoor plans. Rain chances will be scattered in nature, but those do return to my extended forecast as we get into Sunday. Saturday actually looks like one of the coolest days of the work week, with highs falling back to about 78 degrees. Also low temperatures. Wow, they're going to be comfortable. Mid 50s in the forecast, so it's going to be feeling much more comfortable for the overnight hours. It would be a beautiful weekend for camping. Just know that by the time we get to Sunday, we will start to introduce that chance for some scattered showers back into the forecast. Around the country, Debbie is making all the headlines, causing catastrophic flash and urban flooding for portions of northern Florida. I also have some incredible rains happening from southeastern Georgia back up through the Carolinas, Charleston being hit hard yesterday. Additional rain and flooding expected there today. And this is going to be just ongoing for the East Coast, as Debbie is a very slow-moving storm and carried a bunch of tropical moisture with her. Also, while that's happening on the East Coast, out on the West Coast, we've got excessive heat warnings back in the forecast for parts of central and southeastern California, and much of the desert Southwest is going to start seeing some of those heat headlines redevelop back in the forecast. So there's a lot going on across the country. Here in the Ozarks, things are looking really nice for us with this cooler pattern and overall drier weather that's going to stick around too. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question for the day. Here's the question that I left you with yesterday. What is a group of ferrets called? I've never seen, I guess I've seen two ferrets in a cage at once, but if there's a whole group of them, what do you think they're called? The options were A, a gaggle, B, a business, C, a murder, or D, a streak. All of these options are answers for groups of certain kinds of animals, but hilariously, a group of ferrets is called a business. Isn't that funny? It does not seem like a group that means business, but it does. A group of ferrets is known as a business. Other names for a group of ferret would be busyness, BUSY. NSS, and pheasning. It's a less common term used from Old English that means business. So now you know, a group of ferrets is called a business. Congrats if B, business was your guess. Here's a look at the next question that I'll give you for tomorrow. What was the first Disney animated feature movie that was not based on an already existing story? The options were A, Beauty and the Beast, B, The Aristocats, C, Robin Hood, or D, The Lion King. I'll have that answer for you early tomorrow morning on Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. And for a correct guess, you can win $20 to Scooters Coffee. So thank you, Scooters, for sponsoring. Also, thank you to Rescue Towing for sponsoring Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. Thank you for listening this morning. And if you're enjoying the podcast, please make sure you head on over to wherever you listen to your podcast and leave us a review. I would sure appreciate that. You can also enter the Brain Twister trivia question as well as our anniversary contest at aroundtheozarks.com. Have a great day. We'll chat again early tomorrow morning.